What's up, you guys? It's Susie from HeyGrillHey.com, and today I'm very excited because we're doing a recipe for one of my favorite meals that I had when I was a kid. This is something my mom made all of the time. Now I make it for my kids with a barbecue twist. We are doing smoked country-style pork ribs. Let's do it. I grew up eating country-style pork ribs for dinner, usually on a Sunday. I think because they were so affordable, everybody in the family liked them, and they were easy for my mom to pop in the oven before church and then come home and shred, and they were ready to rock and roll. And I have kind of adapted her same recipe to work on the smoker, and I think the flavors are phenomenal. So let's do it. First thing is talking about what a country-style pork rib is. Interestingly enough, they are not ribs, and a lot of times they come boneless, which again, ribs have bones in them, right? So what is a country-style pork rib? It's typically cut from the shoulder, the blade area of the pork. It's very well marbled, but it is typically tough, so it makes for a great low and slow cook because all of that fatty, tight connective tissue and all that flavor cooks down, and they're so delicious. Occasionally pork, these, oh gosh, country style pork ribs are also cut from the loin area, depending on maybe your butcher had a lot of pork loins that needed to be used up. You can tell the difference by looking at them. You want country style pork ribs that are dark in color, that are rich, that have a lot of fat marbling, and they will be perfect for throwing on the smoker and doing a nice low and slow cook. Oh, one more super quick note. If you do get bone-in country-style ribs, those work perfectly for this recipe. Also, you just pull out the bones after they're done cooking, and might even save you a little bit because usually bone-in are cheaper. We are going to treat these very simply. We're just gonna drizzle them with olive oil on all sides and then season liberally with my sweet rub, or you can use your favorite, brown sugar-based barbecue seasoning at home. I also have the recipe for this sweet rub on my website and in my app if you want to try making, sweet rub at home for yourself. Seasoned pork ribs are going on a preheated smoker, 250 degrees Fahrenheit. I love fruit woods for these pork ribs, like an apple or a cherry are very delicious, especially apple, because once we put these on for 4 hours, we're gonna come back later in the cooking process and braise them in a little bit of apple juice. So I think apple wood, apple juice, and pork, it all goes beautifully together. Okie dokie. Like I said, close the lid, no peeking, let them roll for the next 4 hours. About 4 hours into our country-style rib cook, our pork ribs are at about 165 degrees internal temperature, which means it's time for our next step. Very simple, but again, it brings all the flavors of my childhood that I grew up eating and really mimics the way that my mom made these pork ribs at home. I start with a single yellow onion. I've just cut it into strips and layered that across the bottom of the pan. I'm gonna grab some tongs, top the onions with our pork ribs. Pour over a cup of apple juice. And about a cup of your favorite barbecue sauce. I'm gonna be using my apple jalapeno barbecue sauce because we're doing the apple wood, the apple juice, the apple barbecue sauce just felt right. I have a recipe for this on my website and in my app if you wanna make it at home, or you can pick up a bottle in my store. Now simply cover your pan with a large sheet of foil. And it's gonna go back into your 250 degree smoker until these pork ribs reach an internal temperature of about 200 to 203-ish degrees, but really you're looking for a texture where your thermometer probe just slides into the meat so smooth, there's very little resistance, and if you were to grab a fork and try to pick one up, it would probably start to fall apart and shred. This typically takes a few hours, but I like to start temperature testing after about 2 hours just to make sure I don't overcook them. My mom used to do this in a 9x13 glass pan and just braise them in the oven all day. But I love a cast iron skillet because it's super versatile. It does really, really well on the smoker and it's very easy to clean. My country style pork ribs have been on the smoker, covered in foil for the last 2.5 hours, and they are ready to come off. The internal temperature, like I said, we're shooting for between 200 and 203. The bigger ones were right there. Some of the smaller ones were closer to 205, and that is totally fine. They're gonna be delicious. I could probably put the gloves on, but I got lazy. It's the big reveal. Are you ready? Oh, that's hot. Steamy. That's what we're looking for. You can see the onions have softened. The meat itself, pulled it between fork and tongs and it just basically fell apart. You can even see the pieces of jalapeno in there from that apple jalapeno barbecue sauce. Yum. Now, many ways to serve these beautiful pork ribs. Because they're boneless, you could even put these on some toasted buns and make a really, really yummy barbecue sandwich. You could also serve them the way that my mom did when I was growing up, and we would just eat them straight out of the pan with either mashed potatoes or rice, and take all of this delicious oniony, appley barbecue sauce smoky broth and drizzle it over the top of the rice or the mashed potatoes, or like I said, if you've got these on a roll or a bun, make everything all juicy and sop up all of that yummy liquid with a really, really yummy roll. Okay though, like they're just so delightfully tender. I think this is why I loved them so much as a kid. It was something that I could just pick up and eat, and it was soft and it was juicy and so, so, so good. Yep. All that nostalgic flavor with the Hey Grill, Hey Barbecue twist. I love these so much. They're sweet. You get the onion, you get the apple, you get the smoke, a little bit of black pepper from the seasoning, and the jalapeno from the barbecue sauce. These are phenomenal and so incredibly cost friendly. I mean, country style pork ribs are one of the most affordable pieces of meat you can buy at your butcher counter. I hope you guys give this one a try and maybe make some, you know, awesome nostalgic family dinner memories with the people that you love the most, because for us, that's what it's all about. We'll catch you guys next time.